capture card in OBS, so it should be fine. Alright, I guess while I'm waiting, I guess I can introduce myself. What is up, everyone? I am SuperViperT302, and this is Mario Kart 64. I'm going to be playing through all 16 of these tracks here. As you see here, I'm playing on 150cc, and I'm going to be using all the various skips and glitches and tricks and whatnot to be essentially beating these tracks much faster than you're supposed to be able to. Just gotta make sure my character selections are good. Alright. So, alright, I guess we're ready for a countdown, so let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to be attempting something that's kind of crazy here, so let's see if I get this. Ah, I missed it. So what I was trying to do there was, you might have seen what I was trying to do there, so I was Yoshi, so Yoshi's a lightweight and DK is a heavyweight. So what I was trying to do there was use the start boost to basically launch myself off of DK and then land in the tunnel below. I would have landed right around here, and it would have saved me roughly 12 to 13 seconds, but it's kind of difficult, I guess. It relies on having a very specific timing for your start boost and whatnot. Anyway. So, right now I'm going to be attempting to get the blue shell from this balloon in this item box. Oh, I missed it. Oh, dang. I was a little too late there. So this is going to be a pretty standard no skips Luigi Raceway, I guess. So that's unfortunate, but it's alright. We have plenty of opportunities to break the game in later courses. So everything's going to be just fine, don't worry. I guess while I'm at it, I'm going to talk about this drifting technique I'm doing here, which is kind of the key mechanic to going fast. It's called a mini turbo. If you're noticing, as I'm drifting, I'm getting this kind of smoke that's going from white to yellow to orange. And what I'm doing here is I'm oscillating the control stick back and forth at various intervals, and this kind of builds up my charge. And then once I have the charge, I can release it and get a small burst of speed. It's actually really hard to get optimal mini turbos. I don't think I do them nearly as optimally as some people do. But I think I'm doing okay. And that's kind of the key mechanic to going fast in this game. Alright, there we go. So it's unfortunate I couldn't show off either of the skips. Basically, if I had gotten the blue shell, what I would have done is at the start of lap 3, I would have fired it and have it hit me because I'm in first, and then propel me over the wall and land into the tunnel, because the grass doesn't actually have collision on the English version of the game. So next up is Moo Moo Farm. There's no skips or tricks or glitches in this track. The only thing I really have to worry about is the moles, because they're RNG. So while I'm in here, I'm going to be talking about some of the specifics relating to speedrunning this game. First of all, I'm going to talk about character selection. I'm playing as Yoshi. Yoshi, Toad, and Peach all tie for having the same top speed. So, and they're all the fastest characters by a long shot. There's a couple reasons why you want to choose Yoshi over the others. First of all, Yoshi and Peach are slightly heavier than Toad, which only really matters for getting knocked around by characters, by heavier characters. So Yoshi and Peach would get knocked around less. But the main reason why I pick Yoshi is because he's the quickest character to select off the cart. Select screen up to 3. He's only 1 down from Mario, and so that ends up saving a little bit of time. Some players opt to use a Toad for the final cup of the run, but I'm going to just opt to stick with Yoshi for all 4 cups, just because of the way I do the various strats. I kind of also want to talk about the CPUs right now, because they're actually a lot more interesting than you think. They do rubber band in this game, so if you don't know what rubber banding is, essentially, when a CPU is off screen, or when a CPU is really far behind, they'll actually speed up to catch up to you. But they do so in a weird way in this game. So, when a CPU is off camera, like when they're not on screen, how the game kind of doesn't let physics apply to them anymore. So essentially they'll start entering a draft boost state, which is the state you get from following another player for a long period of time, and they can also drive through walls. And it's really rare that you'll see them drive through walls, but it could happen in courses like Wario Stadium or Bowser's Castle. Next you have Koopa Troopa Beach, which doesn't necessarily have any skips, but has a couple of small time savers that I'll be exploiting that are not considered skips. I mean, it has a shortcut and it has another glitch that I can do. So the first thing I need to explain is this ramp jump here. This is very standard. Would be allowed in a no skips run because it's obviously intended in the track. I'm a little finicky to make, but on 150cc it's not too bad. And now I'm going to be attempting something called the finish line glitch, where I get an item and go to the right of the finish line. Alright, so I just got a lightning in technically first place, which you're not supposed to be able to do. But the thing is, there's mismapped polygons to the right of the finish line that, and this exists in several tracks, and they think that you're back a lap rather than forward a lap. And so while you're on the finish, while you're on those polygons, if you happen to activate an item, you can get an 8th place item. And, you know, optimally you're hoping for something like a star or a golden mushroom. It's basically any sort of speed item. I'm attempted to get here. Alright, so I got a blue shell, which is probably a worst case scenario. Let's chuck it at the wall here. But yeah, you're not able to get those items in first place. Yeah, it's kind of easy in this game to just sort of start ramming into walls everywhere. Alright, so I was starting to spin out there, so what I did there was I started mashing the B button to slow myself down. Which is kind of something you can do in this game to prevent yourself from spinning out. Also, another thing to note about button mashing is whenever I'm at a stop, I'm actually going to be triple tapping the A button to accelerate quicker. Which really is a trait that the three lightweights, Yoshi, Toad, and Peach, and Bowser only really have. I mean, all characters have it, but they're not as affected by it. By the way, during these point screens, I'm holding start and mashing A, and that's just the fastest way to get through them. Alright, so now we're off to Calamari Desert. This is the first track where I need to be worried about items. So I'm going to start sandbagging for items at the start of this track here. And there's a bunch of item combinations that will work, but the primary one that I want is a star. So I'm going to grab an item and head back into 8th place, and we'll see what I can get. Nice, I got a star first try. So a star is the highest probability item you can get in 8th place, and also you have the highest probability of getting it in 8th place. Might not be able to make this train cycle here, so I'm probably going to have to wait. Yeah, I'm just going to wait here. Watch all these CPUs just run through the train like idiots. Alright. So I'm holding the star on the lap 2 because if I tried the shortcut on lap 1, the train would be in my way. So I'm kind of going to explain the skip because this is actually an intentional skip, but I'm just going to be doing it in an unintended way. Normally you're supposed to be driving through the train tracks to my right and then activate the star as you cross by the finish line and it will move you forward a lap. But the programmers kind of didn't take into account that you can just enter the tunnel through the other direction and then use the star from there and it'll essentially give you the same result. So I'm going to drive through the tunnel through this direction, wait for Lucky to tell me to turn around right around here, turn back around, activate the star, and I essentially skip a lap. That. I'm also going to be... Okay, now I have this banana. I'm zooming out the camera. In courses like this is actually useful for reducing lag if you're playing on the Nintendo 64, which I am. If you get red shells and blue shells, you can also do some fun stuff with those. But unfortunately, I did not get either of those. But the star still is really useful. And after the final race of every cup, I reset the console just because it helps me get to the next cup quicker because you don't have to watch the trophy ceremony. Alright, so now we're heading on to the Flower Cup. This is where I say the run really starts to get difficult. I really do not like the shortcut in Toad's Turnpike. I'm kind of bad at it, so we'll see how this goes. That was not a mistake. That was intentional. Don't worry. Don't worry. Alright, I got it first try. That's very awesome for me. So I just did there is a trick called the Lakitu effect, where if you go out of bounds... The first out of bounds I did there was intentional because there's a thing in this game where if you go out of bounds and then Lakitu's still on the screen, he actually can't pick you up again. And I can abuse that to basically beat him to the out of bounds area and essentially just kind of jump to the lower level. But this also sets me up to do another shortcut, which I just got. That going out of bounds there is not supposed to take you there, but the thing is, I did the first jump in a really specific way. You kind of want to be above the road when you do the first shortcut, because what this does is it basically breaks the checkpoint system. And basically all I have to do now is every time I drive past the finish line, I just have to drive outwards a little ways and then jump through the fence, and it will just warp me halfway across the track. Alright, I got them both of them, which is awesome. almost got wrecked by that car. Yeah, and just for the record, that first jump was actually really difficult to time. You really don't have a visual or audio cue to go off of, so I'm really happy that I got it. First try. Okay. So, surprised that none of those green shells hit me. The thing about shells in this game is that CPUs cannot pick up red shells or blue shells, and they can pick up green shells, but they will never use them. So if I get hit by a shell, it's one that I shot out. And if it's a green shell, it's one that I shot forwards, because you can't get hit by your own green shells if they're shot backwards. Other CPUs can, but you can't. Which is kind of funny. Anyways, here's Frappe Snowland. This probably has the easiest shortcut in the entire game. You could literally learn this in like 2 minutes. All you do is turn around, head over to the bridge, stop at the bridge, turn back around, then jump from the bridge into the snow without touching the road, cross the finish line, and then get stuck out of bounds. And this warps you forward a whole lap, because the game's essentially placing me back behind the finish line without ever decrementing my lap, because you're essentially tricking the game into doing that. And you can just do this lap by lap by lap, and finish the track in like 30 seconds. So that's actually faster than a no-skips player could finish 1 lap, which is really funny. Alright. So the next track, this is a doozy. This is Chaco Mountain. This will be the first track where I'm going to be going for wall jumps, which are essentially frame perfect, and require you to have a specific speed and angle, and sometimes can just be literally impossible. And I'm going to be trying to show off a couple of them here. There's a main one I can go for, and if I miss it, there's a backup jump that's a little easier, but... Okay, so here we go. Alright. Oh, I got trolled there. So I had it, but I just didn't make it all the way over. So I'm going to attempt the backup jump, and I got it. So you kind of saw what I was trying to do there. I was trying to clear that hill. It's really, really difficult to make that jump. It's very easy to just tumble if you hit the wall, because sometimes your speed can be so high that you'll get what's called a 0-frame jump, which basically means there's no frame that you have where you'll be able to make the jump. Right, so I'm going to attempt this again here. Let's see if I actually get this time. I was a little too far on the wall when I attempted it, so I'll attempt the backup jump again. I'll only attempt each of these jumps once per lap. Oh, dang. Alright, that's okay. I'm not gonna fall too far behind from that. Okay, that banana is really I'm gonna take it a little slow here so I don't fall off. Thankfully that happened a lot too. I can't finish the race in 5th, by the way. Because if you finish a race in 5th or worse, then you have to redo the race. So hopefully that doesn't happen here. Okay, I have a star, so if depending on when this runs out, I might just not go for the 3rd lap jump. Yeah, I'm just not gonna go for it. Alright, so right there. Okay, I'll attempt this. Alright, whatever. Not a great Chaco Mountain, but it'll do. I kinda got to show off what I wanted to. Yeah, you kinda get the idea of what I was attempting. And also, you saw me, after the star ran out, I was still able to knock Luigi. That's because the star is still in effect for about, like, half a second or something after it runs out. Alright. Next track is Mario Raceway. I'm actually not going to be sandbagging for items here, but if I happen to get a mushroom, which in first place is a 10% chance, then I'm going to attempt a shortcut on this track. So, just kind of pray for RNG to give me what I want here. Unfortunately, yeah, it's a 10% chance, but it's actually not the lowest probability item you can get in first place. That would be the Boo, Red Shell, and Banana Bunch. They're all at 5% chance. It's hilarious. Alright. And by the way, if I ever get a Boo and use it, it actually functions the exact same as a normal item box, so I have the same probabilities of getting the same items. I'm not stealing on some other CPU players in GP mode. In versus mode, though, it does work as a mode. That's a lot of bananas now. That's kind of Moment of truth. Can I get a mushroom here? Dang. Yeah, if we got a mushroom, I would have attempted to hop that wall there. And it would have saved me a few seconds, but it's fine. We'll just do this no skips. That worked this as well. Hopefully I got a mushroom from this locked item box, so I might be able to cut across the grass with it. Alright, no steps left. Another reset here. Alright, here we go. Let's see how much Wario Stadium hates me today. So this track can either go really well and be done in 20 seconds, or take you over a minute. So let's see how this goes. So, you can hop this first wall, really well-known shortcut, assuming you can do it properly. It's a little finicky. I don't know why I can't get it sometimes. There we go. And you can actually hop right back over, but this jump is a lot more difficult. This is another one of those jumps that's frame perfect and sometimes literally impossible. So we might be here for a while. There we go. Typically what happens when I get here and runs is I just run into this wall and never get over. It's really irritating too, because sometimes the triple tap acceleration you get is kind of random sometimes for me, and I can't seem to figure out why. Like, sometimes I get some amount of speed and sometimes I just don't. Alright, so hopefully I get this over this wall now. Alright, I'm not gonna get under a minute. Okay, I was wrong. I did get under a minute. So that was actually not that great. Under a minute is I guess it's acceptable for a no reset. Optimally in a run, though, you want to aim for something like under 30 seconds. Alright. So, up next we have SuperViperT302. So, this track is the first one for a while to not have any shortcuts or skips of any kind. So, this is a no-skips track. It's worth noting that the penguins are on cycles, but I never bothered to memorize cycles in this game, so you could be having some fun improvisation here. I also don't want to fall into the water on this track. You don't want to fall into the water in any scenario, but it's even worse on this track because there's an extra animation where you get turned into a frozen ice cube, and it takes a couple extra seconds to break out of it. So hopefully I don't get comboed by a penguin and then go falling into the water, because that can happen sometimes. Yeah, for the most part, this track is just driving and stuff. I guess if there's any like donations to read or anything you want to plug or something, now is a good time to do that. I won't have a whole lot to say. I don't actually have my earbuds in, so I can't hear what they're saying, if anything.
You can't.
So I don't know. I get a vibration there.
Hello.
That's bad. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was unfortunate. I can finish in third, by the way, if I happen to not be able to catch the TPs. It's only if you don't make it into the top 4 that you have to redo the race. We've golden mushrooms in a row. I can't say I've seen that happen. Oh my god. I'm getting wrecked by server land right now. Alright, I'm not gonna go for this gap jump here. Wow, I still got first. So that didn't go too well, but that's okay. Now we're on to Royal Raceway, which has got a pretty decent shortcut in it. I'm going to be attempting on all 3 laps here. There's only really one main shortcut, but it saves quite a bit of time, so let's see how it goes. So basically I'm just going to kind of hop across the lever and aim for a specific spot. That's too far to the right. Yeah. It's very difficult to do this without setting it up, which I basically am going to be going for on all 3 laps. That was too far left. I couldn't see very well. I didn't have good sight there. So I'm going to be aiming to the left, to the right of this polygon right here. Okay, so I got the poof, which means that worked. And I also, as you saw, I jumped from 8th to 1st. So essentially, if you hit to the right of that polygon line, it makes the game think you attempt a big jump from that ramp and missed. Alright, there we go. I got a lightning, so I'm able to climb back into 1st now. That was really far to the right, yet that still worked. I guess I got a lightning earlier, so I should mention that you can get hit by lightning in this game, but it's really rare. It maybe happens once or twice per run on average, if I had to say. The 8th place CPU has a 1% chance of getting a lightning. And yes, the item probabilities are known in this game. There actually is a second skip you could go for on this track that I'm not going to be going for because I'm bad at it, and it's also, it saves pretty much no time. Right here, you could jump off this ramp to the left and hit the wall, and then it'll essentially just place you at the last corner, and it saves like almost nothing. It's like probably about half a second on average, but it does look pretty cool if you can get it. Alright, so that wasn't too great of a Royal Raceway, missing that first lap jump twice. Okay, so next up is Bowser's Castle. This track also does not have any shortcuts or skips or tricks and whatnot. So really the only thing to be concerned about is the thwomps, because their movement is cycle-based. And so I know where the thwomps in this room are going to be on lap 1, and I know to go to the right here. But on the next 2 laps, depending on how well I drive, I might just have to guess at which thwomp. I basically have to see and react on laps 2 and 3 as to which thwomp I want to go under. Yeah, if there is anything you want to plug or any other things you can say, now's a good time to do so.
Okay. We are busy running practice fight for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And that money will go to event and research new treatments, as well as provide those treatments free of cost to patients who desperately need them. As friends can be their loved ones and the care they need without having to stress about where the money is going to come from. And all of these programs that St. Jude's provides are only available because of individual donators like you guys. There are still a couple of other percentages that need to be met, including the $275 total amount raised donation for the Memories All Chapters run. Lots of big awards waiting to be sniped as well that you can put their donations to, so be sure to get your donations in to get your names in, the categories, all those sorts of things.
Alright, so earlier there, I'm used some mushrooms to cut across the grass. That is also not considered a skip. That's just something you can do. Also, I got really bad. Wow, this swamp's not letting me to get past. Okay, thankfully I wasn't going forward when I hit that banana, otherwise there's a good chance I would have fallen into the lava there. That bridge is actually the thinnest part of the game that doesn't have sides. Fun fact. And 9 out of 10 times, on at least one of the laps is a banana right there. Or our CPU could just move you into the lava. Alright, so got the last console reset coming up. That was not a great star cut by any means. That's okay. That's generally one of the harder parts of the run. Alright. Now we're heading off to Special Cup, the final cup of the game. And right off the bat, we've got a pretty big skip coming up here. Also, this is the laggiest course in the game, just so you know. So I'm going to be turning around from the start here and going into the cave. And I'm going to use a little visual cue here. So what I'm going to try to do is clip out of bounds through this wall here and cross the finish line. You can land back in the cave, but it doesn't really matter if you do or not. You basically get the same result either way. It's just that landing back in the cave is a little bit faster. It is a lot more difficult though, so hopefully I'll get it on at least one of the laps. There we go. So I just have to do that one more time, and then the race will be over. Ah, it's too far to the left. How was it too far to the left that time? That seemed pretty good. I'm too far to the left, and I don't know why. I should be hitting this at least once. I don't know how I'm consistently getting a bad setup. We'll just go for it. There we go. That was not a great lap. Alright, once again, I'm just going to be holding this banana behind me so I can reduce lag. Alright, so the next track is Yoshi Valley. And, something kind of funny here about this track is that there are a couple ways I can technically go about this, but it depends on what kind of item RNG I'm going to get here. So I'm actually going to go for triple mushrooms because I'm a bit of an idiot. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to grab here, wait for a couple CPUs to pass me because you have a better chance of getting them in 5th or 6th place. Wow! I got them. So this means I can actually attempt a lap skip 3 times here, but I need to find my setup spot first. I think it's right here. No, we're good. So I'm going to try to do is hit this line and get that bounce left. And for some stupid reason, I don't know how exactly the checkpoints in this level work, but that just skips you a lap. And now, since I have triple mushrooms, I can do that 3 times. Unless I miss it one of the times, in which case I'll have to do a backup strat. Alright, but we're good. We got a 3 for 3. So now I just gotta wait for like you to place me down and the race will be over. So yeah, there's an alternate strat where you can do where you can go through the track normally and take the right path, and then it glitches out the checkpoint system, so you can just jump off at a random point and cross the finish line, and that counts a lap. Yeah, we can just take advantage of that. Now, the next track is Banshee Boardwalk, which doesn't have any skips or shortcuts, but I noticed that DK and Wario are in the top 4. This might sound a little crazy to you, but I actually want one of them to get first, and for me to get third, because that will allow me to set up for a really, really cool strat on Rainbow Road. But we gotta pray that the CPUs are nice here. But it looks like I have DK and Wario as my main rivals, so it's looking pretty decent. So one of them is basically bound to get first. And the way CPU rivals are chosen is you have 2 main rivals, and the way that's determined is actually in the Kart select screen, or in the character select screen. There's basically a counter that goes, and once you select your character, it chooses 2 characters who are said to have better rubber banding and whatnot than everyone else. I'm going to try to not use too many items on this track because I don't want to risk hitting one of the CPUs and causing them to fall behind. For the most part, the driving in this track is really standard. There's not really a whole lot of mini turbos you can go out of your way to attempt. By the way, I'm getting knocked around by walls a lot. That's not really a huge issue. Just as long as you keep that rev going, you should be good to go. Alright, so I got Wario in 2nd place. I hope he stays there. Trying to get some DK trolls in the chat. Or if anybody's got any Abney, if anybody's sub to Abney, you can spam some of the sub emotes. Alright. So I'm gonna actually wait here, and I'm gonna let Wario finish first, and then let DK finish that next. And then I'll finish. And yeah, I kind of took a bit of a detour there, but trust me, it will be worth it. You will not be sorry that I did that. So get ready to feast your eyes on potentially my favorite shortcut in this game, just because of how cool it looks. So, if you're wondering what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold A, B, and left at the start. Now, why am I going to do that? Just wait. Oh, I didn't make the spiral. I barely missed it. I didn't go far enough to the left. Yeah, thank you, Wario, for helping me out there. Yeah, that obviously saves you quite a bit of time. I think it's still a little bit faster, or at least around the same speed as just doing the normal shortcut. But you can also land on the spiral by doing that, which would save an additional, like, 10 seconds. Unfortunately, again, I didn't turn far enough to the left. But anyway, I have a green shell now, which means at the end of the lap, I will be able to attempt something pretty neat. That will potentially cut off a lot of time. So just kind of wait. Unfortunately, I am a little out of practice with this strat, so I might mess it up a couple times, but we'll see how this goes. Alright, so this is not something I'm sure you'd expect to see ever. Alright, so I used that green shell to essentially launch me over the side of the track, and what this is going to do is something really similar to Frappe Snowland, where I cross the finish line from falling, and what this is going to do is once I get placed down, I am now an entire lap ahead. And that gives me even more time to get another green shell and do that exact same thing. But RNG. But I got triple greens, so that's really nice. Alright. There we go. So get ready on time. Time's going to be when I cross the finish line. So get ready for that on my mark. And time. Alright, that was a 31:57 by my timing, so not terrible a run, I guess. Certainly could have been a lot better, but hey, we'll go with it. Alright, so while I'm in this ending sequence, there's some shout-outs I want to give. First of all, I mentioned him earlier, but Abney317 is the current world record holder for both 150cc skips and no skips. So if you want to see gameplay that's a lot better than what I just showed off, go check him out. Also, if anybody's interested in running the time trials for this game, I don't myself run time trials because I'm not interested in them, but there's a really active community for them, and MarioKart64.com is the place you want to go for that. So yeah, that's Mario Kart 64. It was kind of a last-minute addition to this run, so I guess I'm happy with how that went. Thanks for letting me run, and until then, I will see you next time.